So I am here with somebody that I've known for a while because we friends, but newer to the WXOU radio community. You may have seen her on TV in your childhood in, Austin and Alley or Nashville, or if you saw the Gem and the Holograms movie, the one with Stephanie Scott from Ant Farm, she was in it too, and the girl from Lemonade Mouth also. I have my friend Aubrey Peeples here with me today. Hi.
Very happy to be here. Thank you for having me again.
I'm very happy. For those who don't know, we talked for my podcast, Jayme Starr podcast, PSA, episode wherever you listen to podcasts. But Aubrey has released some new music, fresh from her creative juices and her creative minds, and she's willing to chat with us on WXOU about everything, her music and her new, pretty much her new baby of an album. Basically.
Thanks for playing it. I'm so happy to be talking about it with you.
Oh, I'm so excited too. Like, I've been really looking forward to this.
Hey, me too.
So let's start with the first single that has been released to the world. So tell the WXOU community a little bit about the first single and why you chose to make that single the first one to show to the world.
Totally. Yeah. So the single is called Sometimes. And it was one of the first songs that I wrote that made it to the album. I think Fickle, technically I started before a couple years ago, but then like put it down. But when I wrote Sometimes, it felt like a shift for me musically, especially thematically, because it really was the first song that I wrote that was like, okay, this is about mental health. I'm dealing with depression. I'm dealing with feelings of shame and self-hatred, like so many of us. And I just sat down and wrote a song about it, and I felt something shift within me. And I also felt that that was when I really started making the shift from more like blues music to this jazz pop vibe that I'm doing now. So I don't know. It always just felt like, okay, this is the start of this new project, whatever it's going to be. And I didn't know that I was about to write an album. I didn't like have a plan, but it just always felt like this has got to be the single because it sums up kind of what the whole album is about. You know, it starts with me saying like, I try to feel like a woman. I don't know what that means. And the chorus is, you know, it's so hard to love yourself sometimes. And that's kind of the theme of the album, is me exploring where those feelings originated from and how I deal with them now.
Yeah. Has COVID in any way, like, did it encourage you to want to write more music? Did it inspire more album writing and things like that?
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. Specifically, I mean, everyone's doing a pandemic album, I feel like, because we have so much more time, or we had so much more time, especially when we were in lockdown, that I was definitely doing more music. I actually, part of what got me writing more music was I did this sort of like musical challenge with some of my friends. It was called Neon Chef. If you go to, I think it's just neonchef.com, you can see all of the songs that we were writing. And each week someone would come up with a prompt. And then we would have to write a song based on that prompt. And each prompt would have like 3 criteria as just something to, you know, get the juices flowing. So I was doing that and I was feeling really inspired. But over the course of the pandemic, pretty early on in the pandemic, I got back into therapy, as I think many people did, you know, sitting with yourself, being like, oh, now I have to face all these things that I've been able to be distracted with something else.
Mm-hmm.
And I was diagnosed with complex PTSD. I realized I had PTSD, which was just a huge shift for me in understanding myself. And from that moment, I just started having all of these like personal realizations, and it just really, like, I funneled it all into this creative project. And I didn't even necessarily go like, okay, I'm going to write an album. I just was like writing song after song after song. And the album has 12 songs. It originally had 16, and they were kind of like scattered and all over the place because I was in this upswing of just like throwing up all of these feelings.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I was like a very specific through line appeared, and it just kind of fell into place where I was like, oh, this is a concept, and yeah, just kind of snowballed from there.
Did you have any co-writers? Or did you do this all on your own?
So I wrote all the lyrics and the basic melodies for everything.
Mm-hmm.
I am working with a music collaborator named Max Whipple. He's my partner's brother, actually. He is a creative genius. And he helped me with like the composition specifically, and he's playing every instrument on all of the tracks except for horns. And then there's like a tiny bit of guitar that I'm playing in Lullaby. But yeah, so we just like, I would bring him these songs or these demos that I was making at home here.
Mm-hmm.
I would go to his like garage studio, and we would just sort of like break it down and start from scratch and decide like, okay, what instruments are going to go on this track? What's the vibe of this track? And I would like kind of bring reference songs for each song that we would do. I'd be like, okay, I really like the drums from this song and the beat from this song and like this weird synth from this song. And then we'd kind of just like build each song in his garage.
Oh,
And
that's so cool.
yeah, and we recorded everything there except for the vocals and the horns, which we recorded at a friend's studio. Um, but my favorite thing about the recording process, honestly, is that he has a bunch of crickets living in his garage, and you can hear them on a lot of the tracks. And it wasn't intentional, but I just was like, I'm obsessed with this. The crickets have to stay. And sometimes we'd be like starting to record something and the crickets would start. And he'd be like, oh, we should start over. And I'd be like, no, leave it in. I love the crickets. And it just became kind of like the vibe.
Yeah.
From like being from Florida, like kind of growing up listening to crickets every single night gives it that like swampy vibe.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah, that's so cool. I didn't know about the crickets. When I go back and listen,
Through them.
I'm gonna have to see if I could hear the crickets and notice where they fall into place.
Totally. I think you can hear them on Sometimes, Fickle, and then in Lullaby, there's kind of this like scratchy sound that comes in, and it's the crickets, but the person who mixed it like put a weird audio effect on it to sound like something else.
Oh my God.
Yeah, really
That's
fun.
actually really cool. So you only had 12 songs on the album,
Yes.
but you said you wrote 16.
Yes.
How did you pick the 12, and was it hard to eliminate 4 tracks?
It actually was really easy to eliminate because as I was writing more and more with Max and we were building the tracks, it just kind of became clear what the weaker links were. And some of the songs got combined. Like there was this one song called Depression that the melody became more of the melody for TV. And I had a different song that lyrically was more what TV was about. TV is kind of about my time living in Nashville, but also just sort of like this idea of me playing characters on TV, but also playing a character in real life as I was sort of trying to figure out who I was / hide who I was. So I had like 2 different songs that then kind of combined lyrics from one song, melody from another, and it just was so much stronger. So things like that just kind of like fell into place. I don't even remember what all of the other tracks were, but I kind of just was like, we don't need those.
Yeah, do you think you'll maybe release like an out of the vault?
Ooh, maybe. I have thought about that, but I just don't know if they are honestly strong enough. Like potentially I could go back and rework some of them, but so many of the pieces like got combined and put in other songs that kind of were already like, okay, this song actually already says what this song says, But maybe.
Yeah.
I considered releasing some demos, like the early versions of stuff.
Yeah. So how much fun did you have creating creating music, videos for your own music?
So much fun. So much fun. It was just like, just a dream come true. I worked with this incredible videographer. Her name is JJ Stratford, her production studio is called Telefantasy Studios. I highly recommend anyone to check out her website and her work. She's amazing. And I knew from the beginning I wanted to work with her. And she's actually my partner's cousin. I really lucked out with this family. But
Yeah.
her work is so cool. She shoots everything on like analog tube television cameras.
Oh, like old school.
Well, yeah, all old school. And she like also uses a lot of these very dreamy effects while she's shooting, and some in post that, you know, she manipulates. It's all analog, but that just felt very much in tune with the album, that is sort of like a dreamscape of my mind. And it just felt like so the right vibe. And I was really, really lucky that she was down to work with me on Sometimes, which is the only music video I've released so far. I do have another one that I'm editing right now for TV that I shot with a friend. Yeah, I'm really excited about that one. I think it's gonna be super cool. But yeah, Sometimes was so fun. And the best part about it, well, one being the fact that I could like kind of be like, all right, here's what I want, and then we did it.
Yeah.
Two, being that we took a lot of references from old like 1960s French pop live TV performances. So
Mhm.
there's this element of television, which obviously has been such a theme to my life, that I thought it just was like so cool to incorporate that as part of the inspiration for like the look of everything. Um, but yeah, the best part about it was building the mirror room. Have you seen the video? Have you seen?
Yeah, that mirror room is cool.
So cool. Oh my God. And that was the first thing we shot. And my partner built it, and they had to like enclose me in it, kind of like trap me inside in order to shoot, which was perfect because that's the whole point thematically is like me being trapped inside my head and all the voices happening at once.
I love that concept.
Thank you. Me too. It was so cool. I like stepped inside the room and they closed me in it. And it was so trippy because I could just see myself forever on all four sides. And I just started crying, and everyone started crying. And we just were like, oh my God, like very on the nose here, but.
Oh my God. Yeah. Like yeah, that part that was like one of my favorite parts of the music video was that one part of the mirrors, because all I kept thinking about was if that were me, I'd be walking into things and like hitting my
It was weird.
face.
It was very weird. And it was funny because so we shot from above. So there's no like ceiling in the mirror room.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but it got confusing as JJ was trying to direct me. She'd be like, look to your left. And I would look to my left, and she'd be like, wait a minute. No, look to your right. And I would look to my right. And we like, when they were directing me, like she couldn't tell which one was me when she was looking at the monitor. So she would have to like come and peer over and like actually be right by the camera to try and be like, okay, wait, which one of you is the real you? And I was like, exactly.
That's amazing, but hilarious at
Oh,
the same time.
yeah,
You guys probably were dying laughing on set that day.
yeah, it was pretty cool. I mean, it was amazing. And it was just like everyone who was on set were people who mean a lot to me and were so supportive and have been working with me for a really long time. Like my hair and makeup artist, I've known her since 2016. She's shot movies with me. She did my short film and does a lot of like my personal press events, and is also my friend. And then my sister was there as like my hype girl. It just was great. There was a lot of love on set.
Yeah, your sister's your bestie. I see on Instagram.
Yeah.
You're
She's like,
with her a lot.
yeah, she just moved out here, so we're together nonstop, and it's just been so wonderful because we haven't lived together or like close together in 10 years, you know, since because we have a 5-year age difference. So yeah, that's just been so wonderful.
Does she live with you now?
She doesn't live with me now, but she is in LA, and I see her almost every day and I talk to her every day.
That's so cool. Yeah, when I saw a picture of you guys posted at Target taking a selfie on the self-checkout thing, I was like, I do that all the time. I always make funny faces at do you make funny faces too at those things?
And I'm always like kind of not self-conscious, but I'm always just like posing and like, oh yes, this is such the vibe for Instagram. And then I'm like looking around like, does everyone hate me? But no, they're doing it too, you know?
I always go up to like security cameras like that, make a weird face or like get really close to it. Do you do that? Oh yeah, you're like strike a pose.
Yeah.
This is my little fashion moment, you know.
Make someone laugh later.
That's what I think. Someone's gonna look back at this and die of laughter.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, totally. So what message would you say your album brings or has that will convince, how do I put this, like the college demographic? Like how will relate? How can your album relate to like the college demographic, as WXOU is a completely 100% college ran radio station and a majority of the listeners are college based kids?
Yes. Okay. Well, so a lot of what I'm talking about on the album it's sort of my perspective on what I was going through when I was college aged, when I was, you know, a late teen in my early 20s. Like Caffeine specifically is about me sort of taking on this like, all right, I'm in the world now. I'm a tough guy and I'm like barreling headfirst into adulthood, but I really don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But I think in general, yeah, you know, even though I deal with the same mental health problems, you know, I've always dealt with depression and anxiety. And I think when you are in college or when you're that age in general, whether you're in college or not, like you're starting to have perspective on yourself. Your brain is developing in a new way and you're starting to try and figure out who you are, which is really what the album is about, is this exploration of like, who the fuck am I? And have I been and why have I been that way? And who am I now? And I don't know, I think that those themes are really relatable for
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, because it's like important for college age kids to find ways to relate to other people because you can connect on so many different
Yeah.
things.
I think it's really important too. Like, I didn't necessarily have the understanding of mental health that I do now when I was that age, but it seems like Gen Z, especially, is talking more about these things and more willing to be open. And there's also just so much more like science out there now as far as mental health than when I was that age. And hopefully that will be like, the whole point of this is to be more open about these things, you know? And I think if you can be more open about them when you are becoming an adult, you're probably going to make healthier choices.
Yes. Yes. Like I say, mental health is health and it's okay to take mental health days.
Oh, absolutely. 100%.
Like, especially in college.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, if you need to send an email to your professor about you need extra time because your mental health is just not at it.
Yeah.
Do it.
Take care of you. Absolutely. 100%.
And to everyone in the WXOU world, do it. I'm telling you, because chances are your professors are going to be very accommodating.
Yeah. And I feel like when I was, I mean, I didn't go to college. I've taken some college courses and I really do want to go get a full degree, but my time on Nashville was kind of my college years. And in those years, I was really not focusing on my mental health. I was really kind of repressing a lot of things. And I think if I was able to be more honest and open, I would have been in a better place, if that makes sense.
Yes, your college, you had Professor Hayden Pedetier and Professor with Connie, what's her last name?
Britain. Oh my God.
Yeah, those were your college professors.
Sure, yeah.
They're like the masters.
Yeah, exactly.
Of their work.
Headmasters.
Oh my God, yeah, it's like you learn from them and pick up their stuff as if you were to pick up from like an actual like college professor.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Yeah, they're totally, and they're probably geniuses and great in every way possible.
Yeah, definitely.
Especially Hayden Panettiere's child. I love that child. I think she's adorable.
Yeah, she is.
She's really cute. Yeah. So where can the WXOU community find you on the socials?
Yes. Okay. So on Instagram, my handle is Hey Peeples, it's Aubrey. Peeples, Peeples. Twitter is just at Aubrey Peeples. TikTok is at Aubrey Peeples _ Swamps, which is my musical project name, Swamps with a Z at the end, like an asshole. And then I also have an Instagram page just for Swamps, that's Swamps with an underscore between each letter because that is what was available. Let's see what else. I have a Facebook page. I'm not very active on it, but it's just my name.
Yeah, same. I'm not active on my Facebook page either.
Yeah. I also have a Patreon account that is right now it's at Aubrey Shea _ Swamps because I think I'm making the transition to go by Aubrey Shea actually instead of Aubrey Peoples, but that's kind of in the future. I'm trying it out first with my Patreon and we'll see if my socials make it there. Kind of just depends. But yeah, I think that's everything. I'm on Cameo, which is just Aubrey Peoples. Is that all the socials? I
I
so.
think so.
Yeah. I'm not on Snapchat. Yeah, so that should be it.
Yeah. Cool. Well, I've been speaking with the one and only my friend, Aubrey Peeples. Listen to her new album wherever.
Yes. Happy Birthday is the name of the album. It's on Spotify, Apple Music, everything. Anywhere.
I love the title.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
I really love the title. What?
I released it on my birthday, and that was the concept, was to like give a gift to myself.
Oh, I'm obsessed. I love it. I love it.